You'll likely remember the case involving a Dallas anesthesiologist who poisoned patients by spiking their IV bags about 3 years ago. Well, now the victims are demanding change. And as I-Team investigator Ginger Allen explains, they're raising some disturbing questions now about safety inside hospitals.
Before you open peanut butter, jelly, a bottle of medicine, or a pack of gum, you break a seal. It's a tamper-proof and tamper-evident feature designed to protect you. But we've learned some of the most critical tools in medicine do not have the same required safeguard. And in a new lawsuit, some families say that should change.
We almost lost it, yeah. And not a day that I will ever forget.
In 2022, Jack Alderstein was 18 years old. He went to Baylor Surgical Center in Dallas for a routine procedure, but his dad says he almost died.
There was 48 hours of collective just shock, nail biting. Is he going to make it? Is he going to be okay?
3 months before his procedure, Melody Naylor experienced something eerily similar after being sedated at the same surgical center.
I actually was taken by ambulance to a local hospital, and where I stayed for 3 days.
But these two were the lucky ones. Dr. Melanie Kaspar, an anesthesiologist here, brought an IV bag home to treat her own dehydration, and she did not survive.
She's the one that's not here, and we are, so we have to speak for her.
Dr. Reynaldo Ortiz, an anesthesiologist, was caught on camera putting IV bags back into a warmer after spiking them with potentially dangerous medicines. He's now serving nearly 200 years in prison. But the victims and their families say the IV bag design also failed them. The lawsuit argues if the bags had tamper-proof seals, Dr. Kaspar would still be here.
I think as a doctor, she would be out here beating the drum, telling people we have to make it safer.
It's somewhat astonishing to me that the result of this wasn't a spontaneous change by Baxter.
Well, time now, 6:18. Ginger is joining me in studio now. And Ginger, this lawsuit is filed against the manufacturer here, right? So tell us more about this. This is just extremely disturbing.
It is disturbing. I know. So it's Baxter International. That is the maker and the defendant in the lawsuit. We reached out to them to discuss this. Yesterday morning, they got back to me and said that they cannot comment on pending litigation, which is very common. But in response to the lawsuit and court documents, Baxter has stated the incident was caused solely by criminal acts. And the IV bag was, quote, sold, this is important, in compliance with all applicable codes, standards, regulations, and laws.
Kind of sounds like we're shifting a little bit of the blame there. So it's been 3 years now since all of this happened, as we know. But have any statewide or even some national agencies demanded change with how these IV bags are actually sealed?
No, and that's why they're filing the lawsuit, because we've reached out to several of the regulatory agencies and they have not made any changes. And that was part of our investigation and what we learned. I'm going to tell you, if you are headed in for a procedure right now and thinking about all of this, I want you to know there's several different makers and there's several different bags. So this was the bag in this case, as you can see. So only one of the ports is capped here.
I see.
So that was the problem. It went in right there. Some of the bags look like this, so that's got 2 caps.
Yes.
And according to these defendants would be considered safer. What I do want you to also know is they all come, all manufacturers, in this outer casing with warnings about it. But again, the problem in this case was he was able to pierce through that without being seen and go straight in to that open port, and there would be no leakage and you would not be able to detect it. And that's why the lawsuit's being filed.
That is extremely scary and disturbing. Thank you so much for bringing this story to us and bringing some light to this. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. If you have an issue that you think our I-Team needs to know about, all the information that you need to contact them is right here on your screen. They're waiting to hear from you.